Good morning. Please take your seats. Good morning. Please take your seats. Good morning and welcome to our February 8th, 2022 board business meeting. Welcome to our board members, MCPS staff. The board will take a recess to take questions from the media and then resume the meeting with a closed session beginning at 10:30 a.m. Open session will begin at 12:30 p.m. Now let us begin the meeting by standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll call the roll to establish that we have a quorum, starting with Dr. Daka,
Good morning, I'm present.
Ms. Harris,
Good morning, everyone.
Ms. Mandrowski,
Good morning.
Ms. Silvestri,
Good morning.
Ms. Evans,
It is so great to see everyone. Good morning.
Dr. Joftis,
Good morning.
and Ms. O'Looney.
Good morning.
Now let us begin the meeting with the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand. And that is unanimous. Now I will read the resolution for the conditional appointment of the Superintendent of Schools, after which we will take a vote. Whereas the Board of Education has engaged in a nationwide search for a superintendent of schools, and whereas the Board of Education has identified the individual who the Board of Education believes is highly qualified to assume the responsibilities of superintendent of schools, and whereas under pertinent provisions of state law, the Board of Education must take action on the appointment of this individual prior to July 1st, 2022. Now therefore be it resolved that Dr. Monifa McKnight be appointed to a 4-year term as Superintendent of Schools for Montgomery County Public Schools, Maryland, effective July 1st, 2022, contingent upon final negotiation of an employment agreement and the written approval of the State Superintendent of Schools as required by law. At this time, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand. And that is unanimous. At this time, I'll take remarks from my fellow board members, starting with Dr. Daka.
I just can't congratulate you enough for saying that you will still work with us. Really appreciate everything you've done. And I just wanted to say that there's been a lot about diversity that we've talked about, but Dr. McKnight is also concerned about all of the students in the school system. Technology is important. We're thinking of Edison and Seneca Valley. Special populations are very important. International Baccalaureate, magnets, the science and math magnets, and partnerships and language immersion and partnerships with universities. We think that we have moved ahead on some of these issues, and we've provided more opportunities for students to be involved in some of these programs. And we are trying to look at the needs of all of our students with these diverse programs, in addition to wanting diversity in our staff and making sure that we are working well with the students that are here of color. Thank you for that moment.
Thank you. Ms. Harris?
I'll just be brief and say congratulations, Dr. McKnight. Very much looking forward to continuing to work to move the system forward, to get through the challenges that are facing us now, and to focus deeply on the areas of equity and diversity and inclusion, which I know are so very important to you.
Ms. Mandrowski?
Yes, I too will be brief and just say congratulations. This past year has not been without challenges, unique challenges at a difficult time, and I look forward to us all working together to get through what's coming forward as we go along. So congratulations.
Ms. Silvestri?
Dr. McKnight, I'd like to officially welcome you to this new permanent position. Thank you for your service to Montgomery County these past 20 years, and particularly these last 2 years, which has been some of the most challenging in public education. And so I think that your experience with our school system is going to help us accelerate the key work that we have to continue to do for all of our children. From the basics, from our strategic plan, academic excellence, operational excellence, social emotional well-being, to some of the other key reforms that you have been a part of, such as the expansion of pre-K, the extended school year, access to challenging courses for all our students so that they are college and career ready. And so we are excited to hit the ground running with you to move our school system forward and ensure that all of our students succeed. Thank you so much.
Ms. Evans?
Sure. Such a great day. I first want to just acknowledge Dr. McKnight's mother, Ms. Dickerson. Thank you. Yeah. You have raised a fine young woman. She speaks very highly of you and of you often, as well as her siblings and her husband and her son. It's so great to see you, Aiden. You should be very proud of your mom, and I heard it was your birthday. Happy birthday. So you all have a lot to celebrate today, and I'll be brief too. I'll just say this. Dr. McKnight is always poised under pressure, right? I appreciate that. We've had a lot of crisis that have happened in our school system, none like you have ever seen, or I hope we'll never see again. She's always come prepared in thinking quickly, acting with her staff to make certain that we're making the right decisions on behalf of our students and all the adults in our school system. And so I'm really looking forward to continuing this work with her. She's very committed to equity. We see that in the anti-racist audit that come under her leadership. And so I just say to you all, let's watch her work, because she's going to do the work. And the board is here to support her in all that she needs to do. And so I will end my remarks there saying this is a great day. Black History Month, right? The first female to be the superintendent here in Montgomery County Public Schools. So didn't want to take that lightly as I thought about that this morning. It's a lot. So just good to be here to celebrate. And thank you all for being here. We've not had this many people in the boardroom in quite some time, but this is a good reason to be here. And so with that, I'll end my remarks. Thank you.
Dr. Joftis?
Thank you. Congratulations, Dr. McKnight. After I was appointed by this board in December to fulfill Pat O'Neill's seat, I told friends and family that I've never met an individual who is as passionate, hardworking, keeps her head up during the hardest times, including being quite sick. And I'm just really, really excited and honored to get to work with you. Thank you.
Ms. O'Looney?
I also want to say congratulations to Dr. McKnight. I know we've talked a lot about her work, and Dr. McKnight and I actually came into our new roles on the exact same day, July 1st, 2021. And since then, something that's especially stood out to me is just the warmth that you have when you walk into a room, how approachable you are, how everyone, I think, feels really comfortable striking up a conversation. And I think that's a really important quality to have in anyone, but especially in a superintendent, and especially a superintendent who's leading during a crisis like the one that we have in our hands right now. So I feel really fortunate to have worked with you, and really, really excited to see all the work that you continue to do for our students throughout the next 4 years. I think a lot of people in our district and a lot of people who work for us talk a lot about equity, but I think Dr. McKnight is someone who really, really walks the walk. So looking forward to this next 4 years.
Thank you. I too, Dr. McKnight, want to add my congratulations to this appointment. It is really historic. You have only to look at the pictures on this wall to know how historic this appointment is. In addition, this appointment occurs in a building which is one of the first schools for Black children, which I think is a very historic moment. So while your job won't be easy, we're looking forward to supporting you through this. It has been a rough 2 years, as you know, because you have been here with us. And I say we have to let the healing begin, and it starts today. Thank you. Dr. McKnight.
Okay, thank you so much, President Wolf. And I will say this is a very emotional moment for me. It is emotional because I don't take this responsibility lightly. I care for the children in the school system as I do for my own, who is sitting right in front of me. And that's why I'm here, and I am absolutely humbled and honored that the board has selected me to serve as the superintendent for Montgomery County Public Schools, and particularly at this time. A time when many of our students have experienced immense trauma in the wake of this pandemic in a way that we have never seen before. With these new challenges for students, it's also been a time in which our staff have had to go above and beyond in every way possible to support the student needs, and I thank them for it. A time when our parents have had to endure very difficult challenges as we've had to pivot, and every time we've had to pivot, the families have had to pivot. All of these challenges brought to us through the pandemic have been tough on everyone. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at the time of challenge and controversy." And I believe that is true for our community. As an MCPS community, we've cared for our children during some very difficult times over the past 23 months. It seems more like 23 years, but it's been 23 months. And I've said it before, and the community has constantly proven this time and time again, that when our community comes together, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. I'm going to be brief today, but I want to thank our Board of Education for your support over the past 8 months. And I must say that it is for their belief that together we are the right team to write the next chapter in history for MCPS together. And I'm excited to continue to work with each and every single one of you. Thank you, President Wolf. Thank you, Vice President Silvestri. Thank you, Board Member Mondrowski. Thank you, Ms. Harris. Thank you, Dr. Judy Jaka. Thank you, Ms. Shebra Evans. Thank you, Dr. Scott Joftis. And thank you to our student board member, Hannah Oluni. None of this could be done without your leadership. I also want to thank my family who have joined me here today. Thank you, Ms. Evans, for acknowledging her. My mother is here with me from South Carolina. My husband, Bernice, is here, and my son, Aiden, my sister, Ioana, my nephews, Jackie, coming all the way from Annapolis, from the Naval Academy, and his brother, Jason, coming from South Carolina. Thank you for being here. My Aunt Diana, thank you for being here. My friend Hope, thank you for being here. This is my support network, always. And we all need one, particularly during the last 23 months. And I want to thank my sister, Kathy, who is tuning in from South Carolina. These are her two sons. And my brother-in-law, Louis, who's tuning in from Virginia. I look at them because I need for everyone to know that my family were my first teachers. Throughout the course of 23 years in education, my family has grown to include students and colleagues from all walks of life because they all represent service in so many ways, and they taught me that commitment to service early on. Today, as I reflect, I'm reminded of a student who I had in my first year of teaching. Her name was Carla, and she left a note for me in my first year of teaching that I will never forget because I felt so convicted by her words. She shared that I was her first African-American teacher, and she saw herself in me, and what I represented was positivity that she had never seen before, and because of that, she wanted to follow into my footsteps and become a teacher. Those are the sorts of relationships that educators cultivate with all students every single day, in every single moment, and they're so meaningful. They form the lifeblood of every single thing that we do. So that is the part that we all have to stay very convicted about. These are the connections that we have to continue to make, continue to mold into the fabric of what we want for our future and in our children. Before we adjourn, I do want to offer a reminder about the work that we have to collaboratively pursue together in the coming months. That is the work that I am committed to and the work that I invite everyone to join us in Montgomery County. First, we need to rebuild our trusting community. I have visited educators in schools, I've met with parents, I work with principals, and I always hear a unified investment in our students' success. That's what we all care about, it's what we all should care about. But I also hear real fear and deep concern about the historic disruption that we are living through and how it's impacting our children's development. We may hold very different views of how to best approach these issues, but I trust that we approach them with a unified investment in our children. Second, I want to continue to work to make sure every student is safe and healthy. Healthy physically, healthy emotionally. More than ever, our students need to feel safe, loving, and they need to reside in comforting environments. Finally, we all do this work because we believe in the amazing transformative power of teaching and learning. We have the honor and the obligation to realize unprecedented educational outcomes for all students, and I do mean all, regardless of race, gender, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, language, or zip code. And we can never lose that focus because it must be personalized for every single student who depends on us to be there for them every single day. Making real progress on these priorities requires that our community commit to join hands and walk alongside one another. And I say up front, you will always have that commitment from me. In that spirit, I would like to close with the words that Amanda Gorman opens her poem, New Day's lyric with. May this be the day we come together. Together is our path forward. Together puts us on the same page. And today, that page is a new page. On our new page begins the next great chapter in our school system's history. And by the end of this chapter, when the others ask, as in the tradition of the Maasai tribe, how are the children in Montgomery County Public Schools? May we likewise and resoundingly respond, our children are well. Yes, all of our children are well. Together we have so much to do. I'm thrilled to stand with you together to do this work. Thank you.
At this time, we're going into recess, and I just want to say happy birthday, Aiden. We'll come back at 10:30. Thank you.